So here's what you want for a fidget. You want it to be something that is routine, like that you can do the same things over and over, but has enough variability so that it's not just the one same thing over and over. This is why like fidget cubes and stuff are so popular, because there's 6 different options, but each of those options is just click, 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 or whatever. My personal solution is that I just over time find what I'm already playing with, and then I make a point of keeping those things on my desk where I can reach them. I never make a deliberate decision to pick up a fidget. Generally, you want fidgets, especially if we're talking about in school, but generally you want fidgets to be something that you can do in one hand. You want it to be something that you don't have to look at to do whatever you're doing. And you want it to be something that has some kind of tactile feedback to it. If it has audio feedback too, it makes sound, that can be useful, but sometimes you don't want something that makes sound. And what's important to know is fidgets, we're talking about a specific kind, these little things that you can play with in your hands that are great. And I don't want to make a direct correlation here because it's not exactly the same thing, but it is very similar to stimming in autistic people, that the point of your fidget or your stim, whatever it is that it's something that's familiar to you, that it gives you feedback, some kind of data that your brain prioritizes and brings into awareness, even though it's not important. But by doing that, you now don't have that space available to bring in other things. So if I'm in an upsetting situation, if there's something happening that is bothering me, but I can't do anything to change that, because, primarily I want to like eliminate what's bothering me. But if I can't, if I'm a kid at school and the fire alarm goes off during a fire drill, and especially if I have sensory sensitivities or auditory processing disorder or something like that, and can't just kind of like willfully shut it out, excuse me, then one way to get myself to be able to stop noticing it, or at least notice it less intensely, is to bring other things into my awareness that then take up space that's not taking up. So stimming can be that. And I'm bringing that up because what I want to say is that it's not all just a little thing that you play with in your hand. Music can be a fidget or a stim. People who love to have like the TV on in the background just so that there's the noise of language, even though they're not paying attention to it. Physical movement, snapping, like you said, Sarah, playing with your fingers. A lot of people play with their mouth, either with their hands with their mouth or just in their mouth, play with their hair. Even thoughts or like echolalia can be a form of this sometimes, not always, but that you just repeat the same thing or whatever. How many of us have that song running in the back of our heads at all times, and the song changes, and I know me, and I'm sure you guys and a lot of us too, sometimes we'll like all of a sudden become more aware of the song. It's been running, but we weren't paying that close attention, and then we become more aware of it, and we're like, where did I get that song in my head? Like, it must have been playing in the grocery store earlier or something, I don't know. Anyway, so that's one way to do it too, is the things that I would consider distracting are things that take up awareness, but are either A, important to you, so once they're in there, then you want to pay attention and resolve it, or novel to you, so you don't know it, you don't have a good sense of being able to say, oh, that's that thing, I can now dismiss it. You got to figure out what it is. And we want to replace it with things that are unimportant and routine and, not new.